Caitlin Clark's return, lads. Caitlin Clark's return. On ABC, nationally televised game.
Guys, Caitlin Clark is officially back, okay, for the Indiana Fever. Guys, the Indiana Fever just gave the freaking New York Liberty their first L. Their first L of the season. I was wondering, I'm like, who is it going to...
Caitlin Clark is officially back, okay, for Indiana Fever, guys. The Indiana Fever just gave the freaking New York Liberty their first L of the season. I was wondering, I'm like, who is it going? Caitlin Clark just dropped 32 points like it was pocket change. And guess who got slapped with the receipt? The undefeated Liberty. That's right, the Indiana Fever just woke up and chose violence. Was it a game or a one-woman revenge tour with the basketball? Either way, Caitlin brought the heat, the sass, and the scoreboard shouting drama. Stick around, because what went down wasn't just a win, it was a monster movie, and Clark played every role.
Back again. Caitlin's back. Tell Caitlin Clark Kent back in action. Where do I even start? 32 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks, 7 threes, 11 for 20 in only 31 minutes of basketball. The Indiana Fever say, come on, New York. Come on. Somebody's got to give you this first L, and I guess it's going to be us.
Not only did Caitlin Clark arrive at the court with sniper vision, a rocket launcher for an arm, and a casual disregard for the laws of physics, she pulled up from 30 feet as if it were nothing more than 30 yards away. At this point, someone ought to investigate whether she had wandered in from an NFL training camp by mistake, as those shots were coming from a different zip code and weren't D-157 Esperate prayers. Rather, they were precision airstrikes with no remorse.
That's how you feel, Caitlin, after missing 4 games from a quad injury? That's how you feel when you come back? What the hell did we just watch? Caitlin Clark in her absolute Birkin, able to get her team a victory over the undefeated New York Liberty. Let's talk about it. So as I discussed before, Caitlin Clark, this is her first game back in 4 or 5 games after dealing with the quad injury. And she did not disappoint. Came out with 32 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, almost a triple-double. But 7 3-pointers, y'all. And she was hitting them from 40 feet. Like, she was literally shooting from anywhere.
32 points, let that sink in. It's a solo Broadway show with a full house, and every act ends with a swish. She tied her career high in threes and appeared bored while doing it. She then pulled up from the logo as if it were a warm-up drill, while the Liberty, the WNBA's once unbeaten darlings, were busy attempting to determine whether they were playing in the game or were merely extras in the Caitlin Clark experience.
And most elite performances we have ever seen from Caitlin Clark. Now, I got to remind everybody about this. Caitlin Clark is coming off an injury, bro. What we seen today was greatness. This was similar to the Michael Jordan flu game. I mean, it's up there type deal, bro. Caitlin Clark just handed the New York Liberty the ass whooping of a lifetime. And what's crazy about all of this is that the referees couldn't even save them. See, last time the referees was able to save New York and they walked away with the victory.
And yet, in the same building, far away, Angel Reese was going about her daily business, gathering rebounds as if she were stockpiling them for the winter. As if she didn't care, she threw the ball into the air. She may have 10 rebounds for points and enough posing to land a modeling job, but in her opinion, she is still the star and the crown jewel.
All right, guys, Caitlin Clark is back in the WNBA today, and I could not be happier. And to start off the game with the New York Liberty, she is putting on a show. First clip we're going to watch here is Sabrina Ionescu missing a 3 because she wants to be Caitlin and she just isn't. And look at this dime of a pass. Oh my gosh, can you just be a quarterback already? But then it gets better. Caitlin goes on a 9-0 run by herself within the span of 50 seconds.
Angel is busy reminding everyone that she adds flavor, but the league's face doesn't care that Caitlin just lit up the court like a fireworks finale on July 4th. The funny part is that Reese is out there moving like a walking double-double of hustle and ego, but the scoreboard neglected to invite her. To the festivities, she's under the rim throwing up bricks like she's laying the foundation for a new stadium, and her shot chart looks like a horror movie with everything red and nothing falling. However, she did get rebounds that said, "Don't worry, team, I got the miss again." Angel continues to talk as though she has the WNBA wrapped around her immaculately manicured finger, insisting that she's drawing attention to herself while Caitlyn is playing chess in 5D and Angel is over here playing hungry hippos with rebounds. The league that it's not just Caitlyn, which is technically true because yes, people are watching to watch Caitlyn burn the court while Angel slow dances with the glass. The real question is, though, are they watching for the drama or the buckets? As Rhea is serving up WWE energy with no offensive highlights to match, while Clark is feeding a Stephen Curry range.
288, we finally hit triple digits thanks to CC22. Caitlin Clark. Folks, 3 threes in 38 seconds in the first half. Caitlin Clark hit 3 logo bombs, by the way. 3 logo bombs in 38 seconds. This was the Caitlin Clark we all said, oh, she's different. She's sent from outer space. The Caitlin Clark that we saw today was the Caitlin Clark that we were accustomed to seeing. Oh, it feels...
Being viewed and being talked about are two different things. Every game, every shot, and every time Caitlin Clark crosses half court, the defenders collectively hold their breath as if they were on Angel on a roller coaster at this point. Reese shenanigans for posing for her competition with Caitlyn feel more like a one-sided diary entry. Let's face it, you can't just throw some rebounds together. Add a frown, and you'll be a celebrity. The scoreboard and the game are still important. While Rhea was out there touting her value like a motivational speaker trapped in a power forward's body, Caitlin Clark didn't just show up. She dominated and broke narratives. The shot clock doesn't halt for attitude. We're talking long-range artillery stiff level bombs from so far out the ball has to file a flight plan every time Caitlyn launched it. It was like time froze, the crowd held its breath, the defenders flinched, and the commentators lost their collective minds. However, Caitlyn's threes were discouraging not only for the Liberty, but also for anyone who thought this girl was going to fade into the background after that difficult start to her rookie season. Now that she's warmed up, she's figured it out. You do not receive that type of.
Would you look at that? Caitlin Clark putting another game together that proves that she is the reason why people are watching the WNBA. And definitely not because of Angel Reese. In her very first game back from injury, she puts up 32, 8, and 9. Okay? Super close to a triple-double on over 50% shooting from the field and 50% shooting from the three-point line. And not only did she have a great performance, but she also led her team to a 14-point victory, so not even a close game, against a team that was previously undefeated and arguably the best team in the WNBA on her first game back.
Angel may shoot in the interim, but the audience might still be mid-scrolling on their phones. That's background noise, not superstardom. Let's talk swagger. The numbers don't lie. You can't strut your way out of a single-digit scoring column and pretend it's dominant. You can't flex after every missed jumper and expect people to buy the illusion. Caitlyn has that silent deadly type, the kind where she drops a deep 3 and jogs back like she's thinking about dinner. She has enough personality to rule a small country. There's a lot of evidence to support Caitlyn's confidence, and branding supports Reese's. Enormous disparity in the meantime. Angel Reese is running the best PR campaign the scoreboard has ever heard of. If marketing were a statistic, she would be averaging 40, but we're watching the games, not just the pressers, and the gap is growing. Caitlyn isn't just making noise. She's making history rookie records, rewriting their viewership numbers, boosting them, and adding the basketball to women's basketball. From laughingstock to gigantic slayer, Caitlin Clark is transforming the game by slicing up defenses, turning defenders into traffic cones, and making her passes precise. Her confidence is high, and her movement is radioactive, and she accomplishes all of this while bearing the burden of half the nation's eyes and a league's expectations. Angel Reese continues to box out as if the rim owes her money and shoots like a ball because she is allergic to nylon.
Reese is under fire from the Chicago Sky general manager. The general manager names Angel Reese by name and says, "We need more out of you." Now I'm scrolling through Twitter, doing my thing. You guys know how I do. Got the air breezing through my hair in those Twitter streets. I do. And I take a look and I see something that catches my attention. The Chicago Sky make a request to Angel Reese amid losing streak. Interesting. What is this request?
Though it's actually more about Caitlin Clark versus her own potential, which is currently her biggest rival. Let's continue to act as though it's a rivalry. The ceiling keeps rising, and so does she. She's not just raising the bar, she's turning it into a launch pad, while Angel is still stuck on the ground floor, waving from the rebound pile. The constant reminders that it's not just Caitlin are hilarious. She's begun to sound like the envious cousin at a birthday party who insists their gift was better even though everyone is swarming around Caitlin's highlight reel. It's not that Angel doesn't matter. Rather, it's that her claim to the throne feels premature. You can't declare yourself royalty if the scoreboard keeps saying otherwise. Caitlin didn't ask to be the face of the WNBA. She earned it shot by shot, win by gritty win, and even when Indiana was losing, people continued to watch because she was doing things no rookie had any business. Right now, and she's succeeding while defeating the league's best team with a casual 32-go mic drop. Angel Reese may make a good headline. It's not just Caitlin Clark who draws attention to the WNBA, but let's face it, she's the main reason most people stick around. It seems like Caitlin Clark has been out for 4 games in a row, which is practically an eternity in basketball. That gives her time to rest and recover, or perhaps even take up a new pastime like playing WNBA elite teams for fun.
Hit the long ball at a very, very high efficiency rate today, 7 for 14 from long distance, shooting 50%. I'm not gonna lie, shooting the three-pointer 14 times is wild in one game. But listen, when you hitting it like that, why not? Lexi Hall, another decent game from her, 14 points, shooting 50% from the field. And then we have Aaliyah Boston with 10 points, 11 boards, and 6 assists. Another almost triple-double for her. Great bounce-back game for Indiana because they have severely been struggling without Caitlin. Child, I know they're happy she's back on that floor because they look like a completely different team when she's in her.
When she returns from a brief vacation, she acts as though she never left and immediately torches the undefeated Liberty as if they were a junior varsity experiment. If anything, the break gave her time to hone her mid-air wizardry and sharpen her laser-guided threes. While Caitlin was reintroducing herself in a courteous hurricane, Angel Reese was still out there gathering rebounds like Pokemon cards and throwing up layups that bounce off the rim as if they were allergic to entering the game's levels, and Caitlin was on a different continent. Let's not sugarcoat it. Caitlin is drinking cappuccino, shooting bombs from the suburbs, and asking the defenders if they even want to be here when shreds are in the paint. The alleged rivalry between Reese and Clark, when you watch them play, it's obvious that Caitlin Clark isn't competing with Angel Reese. She's not even looking in that direction, and she's too busy rearranging the WNBA hierarchy 130-yard three-pointer at a time. Therefore, it's a marketing myth created in a boardroom by someone who has obviously never watched a full quarter. Reese may pretend as though she and Caitlin are in the same ring, but in reality, they are hardly in the same space. Caitlin is out there making pros seem like practice cones, while Angel is still working out how to complete a putback without tripping over her own story. She is making passes on a dime, directing the tempo like a resentful conductor, and hitting shots that defy logic.
People who've been unjustly maligned in history. I feel like it's 1-2 for me. I'm not sure who's first and who's second, but it's pretty clearly Angel Reese and Jesus Christ. How does Angel Reese handle it? If you don't want the criticism, maybe consider what the behavior is. Because is this kind of criticism directed at everybody? Or is this a very special, specific kind of criticism that Angel Reese gets because of specifically the way she comports herself? And if her crown is heavy, maybe BET should stop giving her crowns. For the 3rd straight year, named BET Sportswoman of the Year. I haven't even known who Angel Reese was for 3 years. How the f*** does she have 3 of these?
And let's face it, This is more akin to a roast than a competition, which would at least be close. Angel Reese is the perplexed visitor wondering why she is always in the spotlight, and Caitlin Clark is the roast master. It's not that Angel isn't good. She has grit, hustles, and perspires. But Caitlin, in addition to her abilities, Caitlin excels at controlling games like a hostile takeover. Reese not only scores but also dictates reality. There is a brutal comedy to it all. She does 3 press tours about her impact and drops 32 points like it's a TikTok trend while jogging off the court like she's late for lunch. The difference in output is as noticeable as the difference in mindset. Caitlin is playing chess with a sniper scope, and Rhea is still struggling with a checkers box. Their impact on the court also tells the story. When Caitlin is on, the entire team plays faster, cleaner, and more dangerous. She does more than simply score points. She also generates space, defies gravity, and attracts attention. She even developed basketball geometry. When she walks off the court like they're waiting for their Uber driver to arrive with their leader, Reese. On the other hand, she could grab 20 rebounds and still disappear from the game flow like a bad Wi-Fi signal. She racks up board and swagger. But the real impact is that Caitlin makes Angel Reese look like a schoolgirl cosplaying as a superstar, outperforming her in almost every significant way.
Against the Connecticut Sun, but this is Caitlin Clark. How could I be so foolish? Caitlin Clark probably said, I want to come back to the most eyeballs possible. You guys are about to see what I'm going to do. I want to come back to the most eyeballs possible. Clear 2 million or more. Yeah, 2 million or more. I want to come back and show you guys what I am made of. She is the only player in the league so far averaging 20 points per game, 5 rebounds per game or more, 5 assists or more per game. Caitlin Clark is back.
The worst part is that Caitlin is doing it in a composed manner that almost comes across as disrespectful. There are no ostentatious motions or posturing, just flawless execution and scoreboard supremacy. You could put a rivalry sticker on it and try to sell it to the networks, but fans aren't blind. They can see the difference when one team is scoring in slow motion from outer space and the other is performing cardio underneath the rim. Poetry in motion using a flamethrower angel is the theme of Caitlin Clark's game. Reese, who plays background percussion, is crucial in principle but hardly noticeable in practice. Caitlin didn't simply return and perform. She did it with a vengeance, and the Liberty weren't only defeated. They were also taught to be angels. That Clark's return wasn't simply dominant. It was symbolic, sending a strong statement at a time when others are developing their brands. They were chasing rebounds as if they were going out of style and refusing to acknowledge that she was being lapped at a speed she couldn't comprehend. You can sense the tension as Caitlin creates a legacy. Reese works to maintain not only Caitlin's energy, but also the myth being blown away by real talent each time Clark takes the court.
The last remaining undefeated WNBA team, the New York Liberty, is undefeated no more. They have just been handed their first loss by Caitlin Clark's return and then Indiana Fever in Gainbridge Fieldhouse, and wow, was it an electric game. Caitlin Clark absolutely popped off in her return and turned 32 points, 9 points in 33 seconds, like back-to-back-to-back threes. Kelsey Mitchell with another 22. AB had a great game. Lexi had a great game. Sophie Cunningham was back. I rated this one on Rate Game a 9.4. It was that good. If you're not following me on Rate Game, go follow me. It's a fantastic app. You can rate the games, how good they were, what you liked about them, etc.
What's really bothering her is not just that Clark is better, but that she's undeniably better and doesn't need to campaign for relevance. Let's not forget the biggest irony here, Angel. Every time Caitlin lights up the scoreboard, the fake rivalry narrative breaks a little more. Reese can scream co-star all she wants, but she's looking more like an understudy in a show that's already sold out with Caitlin's name on the marquee. Rhea has established her reputation as the antagonist, the rival, and the one who doesn't hesitate to voice her opinions, but her game doesn't support them. While Caitlin Clark has maintained a clinical demeanor, there's no need for a rivalry when one player is already 15 steps ahead. You have to call it what it is. She lets the balls speak while nonchalantly dismantling the opponent. While the rest of the league is only attempting to survive the fallout Angel, Caitlin Clark is on a lone quest and not engaged in a rivalry. Reese is her footnote, not her antithesis. Although there may be hustle and ambition, there is a greater talent gap than ever before. It became even clearer after Caitlyn's 4am break that she had not lost her rhythm. Rather, she had discovered a new, quicker one. When the buzzer sounds and the dust settles, one name reverberates louder than any narrative, louder than any rebound, louder than any press conference. Angel Reese is still playing the same worn-out beat, hoping no one realizes that the scoreboard doesn't play favorites. Something tells us that Caitlin Clark and the others are doing well in the century.